Zale, if you could just introduce yourself, please.
Sure. My name is Zale Tabakman. I'm the president of Local Grown Salads. We're a Opportunity Zone fund, and we're launching in Philadelphia, in North Philadelphia. And we grow vegetables inside, and we buy properties, and we expand that by bringing in food-based companies, startups mostly, from the Black and Brown community that will be sharing our building. And we kind of create a virtual cycle.
Great. And just your background in terms of your alumni or alumnae?
I went to the University of Western Ontario. That's in Canada. Probably your folks would know the business school. I actually studied computer science back then. But that was with cards and PDP-11s and all sorts of older computer equipment.
Great. And then just for everybody's benefit, this is showing you Zale's background on our app. And then if you remember how we connected to 361?
It was probably through LinkedIn. I have a big LinkedIn network, some 30,000 people, and I try to connect with very important people. And you strike me as a very important person.
Fair enough. Well, thank you. Well, tell us about 2020 for you. What was the best or worst decision you made, investment or otherwise?
Okay, so 2020 has been absolutely fantastic for us. As most people are aware, 2020 has pushed forward all sorts of technologies. In our particular case, the indoor vertical. I create ready-to-eat salads. The whole food supply issues became forefront. Jobs became important. Not being able to bring in people from Mexico to service the fields in California have created opportunities. The whole heat and the fires have created all sorts of issues, people becoming very sensitive to climate change. And so they're looking for better solutions. Opportunity zones, of course, became very popular this year. So any opportunity zone investments for people with capital gains became very hot. On a personal note, I got married to a very wonderful woman too. So that added to the year.
Good. And then looking ahead, 2021, first of the markets, whether it's, I know that you're not as active in the public side, but either private equity, venture capital, credit, how do you see those markets or the market, one in particular that pertains to you that developing?
Okay, so I see private equity. I work with small investors. I have local opportunity zones, so it's all real estate. I see local being the key to the future. Everything's moving local. So any kind of business, any investment that's strong on the local side will be very powerful. Opportunity zone investments are going to be very high. We're doing something in North Philadelphia. It's creating jobs for local people. People are excited about that. Though just not related to me, things like scooters and bicycles. If you think about scooters and electric bikes, that whole industry, that's just really allows people to move around in a local manner. We're seeing food delivery, local. Anything that's local, and when I say local, it's it's a couple miles, it's regional, and then it's national. But any investment that's going to be local driven, and it's got a local component to it, will be very successful.
Great, thank you. How about in terms of your goals for the next year, but a little wider picture in terms of philanthropies or social development goals that you're focused on?
Okay, so our business is a social development. We hit a lot of the SDGs, and we actually could probably click on every single one of them at some level. We're creating our indoor vertical farms in opportunity zones, which are the poorest part. So where we're setting up is North Philadelphia. We're talking poverty rates of 40%, unemployment rate 16%, that kind of stuff. So we're affecting jobs, and we're paying living wage jobs. So that's what we're doing there. By growing vegetables in Philadelphia, they're not being shipped from California to Philadelphia. So there's a whole carbon input there. We want to rinse and repeat in all the other big cities. So really creating those jobs and helping people work. I'm a firm believer, somebody's making a living, their life is much better, right?
And how can we help our ecosystem 361 firm? What are your asks?
Well, we're obviously looking to expand. We're looking for investors. We're looking for people who want to take licenses, want to set this up in Chicago, New York, St. Louis, any large city that wants to employ people. And we speak a lot to impact investors, people who want to do well, and of course want to make good returns. We have embarrassingly high returns.
Okay.
We're talking 118 118% IRR over 10 years.
Okay. Well, we haven't diligenced that, but that's something we should diligence if that's the case. In terms of advice and one word for people going into 2021, and what's the one word you want to associate with that year?
Local. Helping people, everything local. You help people, and everything works for everybody. It's a good. They're talking about that K. That's a K. Kind of year coming where people who are doing very well are going to continue to do very well, but people at the lower end of the spectrum are going to have it really rough.
The K-shaped economy. Fair enough.